All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Archery Project. I'm your host, Zach Plasica, and I have the owner, CEO, founder, UltraView Archery, Mr. Kolby Hanley. Not Handley. Hanley.
Thank you, fellas.
Dude, appreciate you coming down. I know it's that time of year. We were just talking about it. The beach. You know, every year it seems around Labor Day time, you're here with the wife, and you guys are vacationing, right?
Sort of. Yeah, every Labor Day, I guess, you know, this is the third or fourth year, maybe fifth in a row, we come out here. So her family kind of grew up on the coast of North Carolina, which is it's like a 30-minute drive to get here today. It was not bad.
Which is surprising because I figured it would have been jam-packed.
It can sometimes get like bad up to an hour, but it was super close to the shop here. I don't know. I think UltraView had been a thing, and I was looking wherever I travel somewhere. I'm like, who carries UltraView stuff? So I look at our system, and I saw an address. I said, ooh, Extreme. This is 5 years ago now, probably. I'm like, oh, Extreme Outfitters. Let's go check them out. And because we were in town with the family, and I walked in and said, hey guys, what's up? And you were literally just saying like, yeah, every year it seems like Kolby pops in around September-ish for Labor Day. So here we are.
Yeah, that's cool, man, because like you said, it's been about 5 years since the first time you came to our shop, which was kind of very shocking for us. We're like, what's this dude doing here?
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Why is he in Jacksonville, North Carolina?
A dealer audit.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
You're a dealer, listen to this. Keep your head on a swivel.
That's right, man. But super cool though that you're willing to do that and take the time and come check out the shops. I know it means a lot to us and all the other shops that you pop into. I mean, because you're standing up there and I can see the guys. They're like, I recognize that dude. Well, just in the shop.
It makes more of a bombshell when I got Chris with me.
Oh yeah.
People start to fanboy out. Yeah.
Yeah, he is pretty well known, I would say.
Yeah. He takes the shock and awe away from the owner of UltraView when you got the Chris Bee figure next to him.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's funny. I did an interview with Chris whenever we were at Total Archery Challenge in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's always been super cool and polite to us, man, and willing to do whatever. And we did an interview, man, and it was funny, just the people that gather around and fanboy over him.
So Chris, I feel like every podcast I'm on, Chris comes up too. Chris and I are like yin and yang, Bonnie and Clyde, because like we both like started our things at the same time in this industry, and it is so I've been able to see it kind of from a third person view grow over time, and it's like it's a thing now. Like he can't even go to the gas station in Iowa now. It's so different. We used to grow up shooting together, and we'd go to the Vegas shoot, and we'd be able to walk around and participate at the shoot and like do our thing. And now it's like, if you're just going down and walking through the hallway, it's like, okay, I gotta prepare for this, and it's a 10-minute walk, but it's gonna be 45 minutes, because Chris, when you're in situations like that, it's like, oh, there's Chris. He's such a personality,
Yeah, he is too. And so you guys grew up together. Is that what it was? You guys went to college together? Like, how did that relationship form?
So let's see. Got to rejog the brain. Well, we met each other on the competitive side of the sport. Okay. And so both Chris and I grew up competing. It was they called them USATs at the time. There was the United States, I don't even know what that stood for. The tournaments, you shot a bow to qualify for the USA team. There was a whole circuit, and it kind of changes year over year, and I've been out of it long enough now, I don't even know what it looks like, but you went to like, I don't know, half a dozen shoots a year to qualify to make the USA team, and then once you made the team, you could go to, it was like different world championships or world cups or what have you. And so Chris was competing very heavily on that circuit, and I was too. And so we were like fierce competitors before we were friends. And it was like, who's this Chris Bee kid? Like, I got to go meet him. And, so we competed very heavily. And then like we both had such a strong, like just deep rooted passion for the sport. We just kept getting more and more and more involved with the sport and participating within it, and then eventually doing business within the industry. And so we were like, we kind of knew of each other, and we were competitors at first through the USA Archery team. And then we both went to college. And while we were both in college is when Chris's YouTube channel became a thing. And that's also kind of when UltraView became a thing. And so his talents were storytelling, video making, helping with like the such a broad topic, right? But like the brand side of things, right? And then, my skill set being an engineer, product development, product, like all of that. When I started to make my own archery equipment and Chris kind of had his YouTube video really kicking up and gaining steam, there was a lot of great like collaboration synergies. And so the very first, it was embarrassing, like 3D printed product I had at the time, but like, it was like, hey, Chris, you want to help me out and do some videos and help me market this widget that I made? And he was like, yeah, sure, man. That sounds like fun. So like I would literally fly him into town to Atlanta and we would jam. I mean, this is like, oh my gosh, it was a blast. Like you would jam all 3-day long weekend, like Friday to Monday morning. Cause then we had to go to like back to college and back to class. And we would just work lights out, like 2.5 days straight, no sleep, jamming on everything from the website, pictures, video, like story, marketing to like what this product is actually going to do and help you. And so like from the very beginning, we started collaborating like that.
So, what's interesting to me is how'd you get him to buy in what you were creating?
I mean, there really was that wasn't
like, was it just like, hey, I've got this thing and he saw it and he's like, that's cool. I like the concept.
Yeah.
Let's do this together.
There wasn't really that stage of it. Right. Cause I mean, we were real good buds. And I think we both just really love what we do. Right. And when you have that much passion and the core of both of our passions is the same thing, like it's archery. And so I had a ton of respect for what he was doing and, likewise. And so when we started making archery equipment that just served our needs and our wants, it was just a very natural thing, and then so when it became, business, more business, like, yeah, our business relationship evolved and matured. Right. But early on, it was just like two geeks that were just freaking out about archery and just having the best time of our lives.
That's cool. I mean, I think that's the start of like, from what I've seen, most companies is like, it's either in a garage, it's in a bedroom, it's something like that, because that's how Extreme Outfitters was started. It was started in a garage and the evolution over time. I mean, it didn't happen quite as fast as UltraView. How long have you guys been doing this? Like, when did you stand the company up?
I mean, 2018 is technically the year I think I'm going to put on the timeline as we started, but it was in college for 2 years. So 2020 was our first full year where like I also wasn't a college student. So depending on how you kind of want to look at that, 5 or 7 years.
Right. So you guys, I mean, have absolutely exploded onto the scene too. I mean, taken over. It's wild to watch as somebody who also operates a company. I'm like infatuated with how you've done it. I mean, your network is incredible. The marketing, the design, the products, the way you release stuff. I mean, I talk to guys from other the big manufacturers. So like Easton and stuff. And they're like, we're watching UltraView on their product launches because their product launches are untouchable. I mean, are you the brains behind all of this?
Well, absolutely not. No, like I've been lucky enough to surround myself, my job is to surround myself around people that are smarter than me and better at what they do than what I could do. Right. And so, the answer to that is definitely no. However, I have very much prioritized since the beginning of the business. What I would say is just strong fundamentals in a lot of key areas that I think are important for a company like UltraView. Whether it is the product and the design of the product itself, which in my opinion is core at first and always, design a fantastic product. The order, I say this all the time in the office, it goes product, marketing, sales. If your product sucks, your marketing is a lie. If your product sucks and your marketing is a lie, then you have a whole bunch of snaky salesmen. And so from day one at UltraView, the goal has been, and even before the product, there's the customer. And so hyperfixate and focus on the customer and their needs. And thankfully, we are also the customer, right? Like Chris, me, everybody at UltraView, we're all like passionate freaks about what we do. So we have a really, really, really close tie on those customer needs. And so those customer needs trickle down into developing a fantastic product that's designed well with just core good product design. And then the same exact thing in the marketing. Like, how are we going to, if we're going to do great product design and have great, fantastic, best-in-class products, how are we having fantastic, great, amazing, best-in-class marketing? And, you know, how we get creative and think about that, and the strong fundamental of me kind of staking the flag, like, this is what we're going to do here. This is what we're going to accomplish. And then we just figure out how. And then that trickles down, you know, to the whole supply chain. And so from a very early stage, it's been, you know, we want to have fantastic products. We want to have the most illustrious marketing, because we believe our products are good. And I think we've, you know, our fast growth rate just, I think, proves like we do have good products, you know. And so I don't think we would have gotten this. There's no way we would have gotten where we have gotten today if we didn't have good products, good products that served customer needs, right? So,
yeah, I would say there wouldn't be any. I mean, there wouldn't be continued growth, and that's what's happened with you guys. I mean, it seems like year after year, there's always something new, and it's become a bigger and bigger thing. I mean, the partnership with Mathews.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Insane, man. I mean, that early, to know that you guys realistically, you put a hard deadline on 2018 and that you partnered with Mathews, the biggest archery manufacturer, bow manufacturer in the world. And you did that in what, 5 or 6 years?
Yeah. I mean, we've been drinking water from a fire hose, man. But to your point on, like, you know, y'all's like network, how you do things, like I got an engineering degree from Georgia Tech. There's one of the great things about Georgia Tech is their entrepreneurial startup ecosystem programs, and they support a lot of entrepreneurial spirit on campus. So I was strongly supported and had a lot of like faculty mentorship early on from Georgia Tech that I had to go out and proactively, you know, initiate a lot of those relationships, but I had been in this industry for a decade before and starting the business wasn't even like an idea. It wasn't, oh, I want to make a gadget and put a business model behind it and start selling archery equipment. That never happened. It was, I just started 3D printing my own gizmos and gadgets at Georgia Tech to serve my own needs as a high-level archer. And then it just so happened to be that people on the range wanted to buy those gizmos and gadgets off of me to help them with their archery. And you know, looking back on my life, I do have entrepreneurial tendencies, and so it kind of makes sense now, but then it just rapidly grew from there. And the thing is, though, is I had been building the relationships in this industry for 10 years before UltraView was even a thing. And so when you do look at just the current timeline of UltraView, you know, they couldn't even have employees until 2020. And now, you know, 5 years later, like they've partnered with Mathews. That doesn't like logically make sense. Like, what's going on there? Well, me, Bruce, our head of product design, Chris, everybody core in UltraView knew everybody core at Mathews before UltraView was even a thing. We would go to the Vegas shoot. You know, our first year at the ATA show, we would break away from the UltraView booth and go over and hang out at the Mathews booth just to say hey to the guys and hang out there, right? And so we had already built a lot of those relationships. And then so when UltraView just kind of happened to become a thing, we already had those built. Now, there's no way, like, to that, you know, Mathews, they have a brand to uphold. They have like, I don't know how many thousands of dealers across the world that are relying on Mathews to make good decisions and offer them good products to sell. You're not going to get in these positions just relationships alone, right? Like, you also have to have everything else to back it up. Good product, all of that. But looking back, it's like all of the time competing, making those teams, traveling, you know, the world, all these tournaments and networking with, you know, even like Hoyt guys, like everybody at Hoyt I know personally, everybody at Mathews I know personally, everybody at insert company here before UltraView was even a thing. And I think that's just because we were archery freaks.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It is fascinating because when you see a lot of these companies come into the spotlight, it's like, man, how did they do it overnight? And most of the times it's not like that. There's a backstory to it. There's years in the making in order to get to that position. And clearly that's what it was. It started with you guys, with just a passion for the sport, being involved in it, and then growing from there, which I think is a story for, I think, most companies you see, because everyone's always questioning. It's like, how did they get there so fast? And you look at anybody, I mean, there's history that it takes in order to develop, in order to get to that position.
I'm a huge, archery is a huge passion for me, but then just business and entrepreneurship is a huge passion as well. And it's funny, there's a Steve Jobs quote where he's like, I'm going to butcher it, but the point of it is it's surprising how long overnight successes actually take if you go and look, like it takes decades sometime for companies to have overnight successes.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's a lot of late nights, sleepless nights, and a lot of questioning your decisions that comes along with this.
Yeah.
I think for anybody that's tried to build something or do something great, and you often find yourself questioning, what am I even doing? I find myself
still, to this day, like what the heck am I doing? Actually, a lot.
That's me, man. Story of my life. It's like, man, is this worth it? And then you look back and you reflect and you're like, man, we're building something that you have to honestly believe in and be passionate about, and see that it serves the people and provides something for somebody. It's cool to reflect on and see how far you've really come.
And you're not going to nobody is gonna, even if you watch like Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank just because it's so, anything entrepreneurial I love. And they're like, one of the things they look for is like passion behind the entrepreneur or business owner. And like, you're not going to put in what is necessary for success if you don't absolutely love what you do. And I drive myself into the ground to when I pretty much just crash and burn, because I love what I do so much. I don't have any self-control to like take my foot off the gas, and I will just work myself into the ground, if I'm not careful. And I have to like step back and go, "Ooh, I love what I do so much." I'm just like constantly just like in it at that level.
Yeah, that's funny. I was just talking to Joey about that this morning. I'm like, dude, I'm running on fumes right now, man. And obviously you guys are a different level. You guys are a nationally recognized, worldwide recognized brand that builds a fantastic product, works with some of the biggest manufacturers there are. And we're at a smaller level with my company, but I mean, it's the same concept, man. I absolutely love what I do, but sometimes you end up, burning yourself out, man. And just,
I find scale though is like not part of the equation. Like you can, a lot of where I draw inspiration from for UltraView are like giant billion-trillion-dollar companies. And, I'll read a million books a year on other successful entrepreneurs that built billion-dollar company name here, right? And the scale is irrespective of what's going on. And so even like we can maybe get into a story where we were selling water bottles for $1 at a tournament. We'll get into that in a second. But like, for me, business and entrepreneurship is like set up a lemonade stand on the side of the road and just go sell some lemonade. Like that for me is exciting. Like anything starting a business and selling a product or anything, a service, like driving around town, I'm like, I'm thinking like car wash service businesses, and like it doesn't matter. And so long as you just love what you do and you can like pour your heart into it, because your work takes up so much of your life. Like your work is the majority of your life as a human on earth. If you do not absolutely love what you do every day, you should think about that long and hard. And you should, it's not going to be easy if you don't love what you do every day. And you're just now realizing, ooh, crap, I don't love what I do every day. Yeah. If you realize that and actually come to terms, that's step one of getting your life somewhere to where you do want it to be. And yeah, it may be a long road. It may take 10, 15 years, but like, I don't know, man, I'm not going to be on earth for very long. Right. And it's like, I don't want to spend any longer than I have to doing something that just doesn't jazz me up.
I am 100% on board with that. You know, you look around and you see a lot of people who are struggling to get by. I mean, just in life, and it's very easy to make a tactical mistake or tactical error and end up in a position where you're just miserable and unhappy. I mean, you see it all the time, and being able to look at where you're at, reflect, and figure out a way to get out of that situation. I mean, it's tough. I mean, life is hard.
It is.
Life
it is tough.
hard, man.
Yeah. So water bottles. That's because it's a great story. So have you heard this? I think I've spoken to it on a couple podcasts. I
have not.
No.
I want to hear about it.
And this is why I'm telling you, man, like entrepreneurial spirits, it's somewhere inside of me deep. We were at, where were we? Indoor Nationals, NFAA Indoor Nationals. It was in like Louisville, Kentucky, big tournament. And I was a broke college kid. Like I didn't come from much either. We were speaking beforehand about, like, I was on the MFJJ podcast, and part of that podcast was like, people apparently think I come from a lot of daddy's money. It's like,
it's interesting how the internet just assumes that based off of an interview or an image or whatnot.
For like lack of better, like, you know, painting a full picture, like I pretty much came from nothing. And you know, I've built what I've had just from bootstrapping the business from, you know, I always say a $500 3D printer. But even before that, at Indoor Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky, I was such a broke college kid, I couldn't afford the registration fee to shoot the tournament at the time. I was like I couldn't rub two nickels together, and what tournaments I could afford to shoot. Just, I happen to be able to afford this one, so I'm shooting it. But I could afford to just jump in George Riles' car, one of my buddies in Georgia, big life mentor, archery coach, because he was taking him and his team up. I could afford to jump in his car for free and sleep on the floor of his hotel room for free. And he was gracious enough to let me sleep on the floor of his hotel room for free. And so I get to the shoot, and I'm there just to be there, just to be in the thick of it. And I get there, and I hear everybody in the entire arena complaining, water is $4 a bottle. And this was like in 2017. So this was almost a decade ago. You know, water's $4 a bottle. It's probably 6 or 7 nowadays. And I'm like, geez, I'm crow. There's a Walgreens on the corner. So I literally grabbed, it was funny, I think I grabbed, Chris was there too. I think I grabbed his car or something. Took his car down to the Walgreens, loaded it up with flats of water, and then like smuggled them into the arena without being seen. And I took a Sharpie pen on a piece of cardboard and wrote $1 bottles of water and walked around every shooting line holding that cardboard thing out in front, and everybody, water boy, water, I'll take 3. And I went, I don't know, a couple hours before they shut me down for like not being a licensed vendor in the arena. But it was like, I made I think it was like $400 or $500 in selling $1 bottles of water at that event. And then I went out and used most of that money to buy my first 3D printer, which then started making grips and release accessories and our first scopes at UltraView, which I then bought that 3D printer with the sole intentions of, hey, I'm going to buy this 3D printer because I'm into 3D printing, and I think I could sell enough of these gadgets just to pay for the 3D printer. And that was my justification of the purchase. You know how you buy things and you got to justify buying things.
Dude, you don't have to tell me anything. Me and Joey were just talking about this morning.
And so my justification of buying a 3D printer, because I just personally wanted a 3D printer, was I'll sell enough of these grips, gizmos, and gadgets off of it at the archery range to pay for the damn thing. And now here I am 8 years later with like 50 employees, 20,000 square foot facility that's just cranking out archery equipment every day.
What a good story.
Yeah, there's some deep-rooted, like, I don't know, autism or something inside of me. 'Cause there's something wrong.
Oh, my gosh. So, I mean, it seems like, obviously you love archery and you have a passion for it. But, I mean, is the bigger passion business and entrepreneurship?
It has been lately.
Yeah. So I'm super fascinated people that think like that and approach things that way and can look at things from a different perspective and turn it into a business. Because that's me. That's kind of my world that I live in. It's just always been fascinating to watch people and just how their minds work in order to approach things that way.
It takes practice.
It takes a lot of practice.
And you'll realize, I've made a lot of mistakes too, but like you takes practice. It takes getting burnt. It takes scar tissue. And then, only after doing it for, I haven't even been doing this for a decade yet, but I imagine, a couple decades in for making a lot of mistakes, and you learn a lot and you can get real good.
Yeah. I mean, resilience. I think that's one of the biggest traits that you gain from it is willing to stand back up after you've constantly been knocked down or, the struggles that it creates, and being able to, pull back, re-engage, refocus, and then reattack whatever you're doing with with the same eager and passion that you've had.
Yeah. Because I think one of the things, it's easy when everything is going well. Right. Like when everything's a home run, when everything is going to plan, and it's just like win after win after win, it's like easy, and you can come in super motivated. But, if you've been in business long enough, it goes through cycles, ups and downs. Right. And I think it's not the, it's not the ups where you really learn. It's the troughs of what I actually call them the troughs of desperation and despair of staring into the unknown. And
that's the story of my life.
When you don't know if whether you own an archery shop, like anybody listening to this that has an archery shop, what I consider the depths of despair of unknown is when you're sitting at the register and you're wondering if someone's going to walk in those doors today. And you got to have someone walk in that door today to meet payroll next week. That is the depths of despair and unknown, and not a lot of people know what that feels like, right? But that's where you learn. That's where, if you can figure that out, get through that, you just get stronger for when you do have your next period of success and growth, and your next prosperous season. You'll be so much stronger, and it will be even more prosperous than it was had you not gone through that season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I think that's where, you said it great. You don't learn from all of those winnings and all, being on top. It's the failures that really mold you and hone you and teach you the most. I mean, I think that's for most things in life. I mean, if it's always good, man, it's easy. Yeah. But when you're really tested, that's where you can take a step back and assess and be like, okay, let's try this again.
Yeah. You also have to have, it's a balance too, because you also have to be delusionally optimistic.
Yes, you do. All the time. It's hard to maintain that mindset because it's draining at times.
You can see it. And so the startup entrepreneurial ecosystem at Georgia Tech, I'm still pretty involved in. And you can see a lot of the, I say young kids now, gosh, college kids, which, maybe are almost 10 years younger than me now.
So how old are you?
I'm 28.
You're 28. Okay.
I asked my wife,
very young.
I asked my wife on the way up here, I said, babe, how old are we? I'm like, am I 27? And she's like, no, we're 28. I'm like, ugh.
It only gets worse. Don't worry, it only gets worse.
But you can see these college kids that are pursuing their passions or dreams or their startup idea, they are so, and it's good because you got to be at that stage, delusionally optimistic of the future and everything. It's you haven't been punched in the mouth yet.
Not yet. It's coming, buddy. And stand by.
You can see it. I can see it in a lot of my great mentors, when I am that way, and I can just tell when they know, but it's when you do get to the point of your career where you really have that sage wisdom and experience, you just know, life goes through its seasons and its ups and its downs, and they're driving pretty fast towards a cliff over there, but I think they're okay and they'll figure it out, and I'll advise them this, but some lessons they have to learn, their own way. And so I try to do my best to stay ahead of the curve, and I read a lot because I think give me wisdom. Where can I go get wisdom to make good decisions for, not even just my employees, but the businesses Extreme Outfitters that now rely on my products to do well. You guys invest in our products. You make an investment in our inventory to sit on your shelf because you expect it's going to be a good product that will sell and will make a customer happy and then ultimately come back to your store, right? And so it does not slip my mind that not just you, but every dealer that we work with is investing in UltraView. And I have a responsibility to not just look after, within the four walls of UltraView, but also every single, value stakeholder, every single dealer that we have, every single person that's stocking one of our products is really expecting UltraView, ultimately me, to make good business decisions on behalf of everybody that has a stake in the game.
Yeah, so that's obviously very near and dear to me, right? The dealer side of things, the network, the community support that comes along with it. And I mean, in talking with you, it seems like UltraView sees the dealers as partners, I would assume. Mm-hmm. So how do you guys balance like direct to consumer sales with like dealer partnerships? Like, how do you keep from cutting our throat? Like, because that's what we see in a lot now, right? Things have really changed since COVID, I'll say. You know, as dealers, a lot of us are battling manufacturers at this point because they go direct to consumer sales, right? They're running sales, they're cutting the margin out from under us. And then, you know, we're sitting on inventory. You know, how do you guys balance that and take care of your dealers?
Right. This is actually a great question. And I wanted to talk to you about this today, but we'll talk about it on the podcast because I told you when we started, I'm a pretty open guy. So, there's a lot here. I want to make sure I cover it all, and I'll start from the beginning. So UltraView started in a dorm room and selling 3D printed gizmos and gadgets, which I know our first ever dealer was Lancaster. And
that's crazy. That's such a big dealer.
They do such a good job. And actually, shout out to the person is like Steve Yoder, like a guy, he's their VP of purchasing. He does such a good job of staying in the know of what's there, what's not. And I think one of Lancaster's, whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, one of their strategic delimiters is they want to carry everything.
Yeah.
And so they want to carry everything. And if something gets hot, they want to make sure it's there, and then they'll stay on it. But that aside, there's absolutely no way, 0% chance UltraView would ever be a thing had I not had the ability to sell really what they were my ideas online out of my dorm room with a 3D printer. And so the very, very early business model that made UltraView become a thing was have an idea, print it with a 3D printer, and it was generally grips for any type of bow, release accessories. The first product was actually a light kit, which used ultraviolet light to help you see better, hence the name UltraView, and put it on, Facebook or Instagram, and then link it to a website and sell it. And so that's what put us on the map. And very, very early on in the business, it was, idea, print, iterate, improve. And every, quarter, we just kept growing with more products. And eventually we started machining, our first machine product was a scope housing. And, eventually we became enough of a buzz word in the industry where some dealers started to reach out, and then it became just a very natural shift of, okay, like how am I gonna, this dealer reached out and they want to stock our stuff. Like how am I gonna make this happen? And, I remember like I drafted our first ever like dealer program, like bronze, silver, gold, and our margins and all of that. I was still probably in a college dorm room at the time. And so it was like, sure, you want to buy this, here's your margin, you could buy it. And when I started business, I didn't come from a business background either. I didn't know what terms were. Like seriously.
Yeah, I understand all that. Me neither.
And so when our first dealer wanted to pay with net 30 terms, like I didn't even know what that was. I said, sure. And then I'm like, I shipped them their stuff. Like, where's the check? It's like, I waited weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm like, are they going to pay me? And it finally got to the point where I was going to reach out and the check showed up in the mail. And I'm like, oh, that's when it clicked.
So this is pre-ChatGPT and all that too. You can't just search it as easy. Yeah.
And so, dealers wanting in on it, and this was relatively early, still probably college dorm room front, was pretty early on. And so from the very beginning, we tried to work them in. But I think it's important to, at least at UltraView, certainly myself, we have, that value train that I walked you through early on where it's like customer, product, marketing, sales. The very genesis of this is actually solving customer problems. Providing a product that's better, serves them, gives them value. And for us, very early on, but even it's still core to how we operate now, is having that direct relationship with customers, getting that immediate feedback, and having that really no intermediary between us communicating with them, whether it's social media, sales, customer service, what have you. We love to have at least a portion of just direct, we're plugged into the customer, because that's what really matters at the end of the day. And so it provides us a benefit to really make good products through that way. But to your point earlier, we care personally, like I say we because we do, but if it means more to anybody listening, like I personally care a lot about our dealer base. And especially to the point of when, you know, we looked at our Slider 2 launch, the dealer support was unbelievable. Like something like we had never seen before type of unbelievable. And to my point earlier that like dealers are investing in UltraView to provide a good product, to give them customers something of value so that they enjoy the sport and ultimately come back, right? And so the landscape of really what we're discussing is e-commerce, right? The landscape of e-commerce is whether it's the manufacturer or, you know, you guys are on the East Coast or a dealer on the West Coast, anybody can have a website. And so whether it's the manufacturer or another dealer or not, it levels all of the playing fields. And so we are, every time we come out with a new product or hit a new life cycle with our dealer year, we're always trying to bolster dealer margins. You know, we know that's every, you know, we know if we ask dealers what they want, it's the top of the list is always more margin, right? And so we always know that. We're always trying to get that as best we can. We're also trying to support them best we can. So when we launch a product, we really try to work in everybody first. So before we even publicly launch, we let our whole dealer base know. We're like, hey, everybody, we got this new product coming out. And then, you know, we have our dealer portal. You can log in, get your orders placed. And with Slider 2, we were able to ship. I mean, pretty dang, almost every dealer had Slider 2 inventory before or within a couple weeks of launch. And so the longer history you've had with us, you know, the more business you do with us, the kind of the higher on the dealer tier you are. But most of our dealer base had Slider 2 inventory when we launched, which was huge for the dealer because they can go, look, we got Slider 2 inventory in stock. And so I would recommend that every single dealer actually has a website with their products for sale. And I would invite them to crank that website as hard as they can. And maybe you become, you know, a national brand because of it. And we are more, you know, we support a lot of our dealers that I actually wanted to chat with you about this today. Like I can get you linked with, you know, our marketing manager. So you guys can get all new website imagery, copy. We can get like all the products set up right for your website.
I'm in a massive e-commerce transition right now. Yeah. So we're transitioning out to Shopify.
Yeah, great.
Finally.
Great.
But it has been an undertaking.
Is that live yet?
No, it's still in the works. Okay. We're still hammering this project, which is consuming me.
So one of the things I wanted to chat with you about today was just like, I'll connect you via email, but like I'll connect you with our marketing team and we can get you all the website, you know, even hero imagery for landing pages or everything you need, we'll get to you. But we support all of our dealers in their e-commerce place too. And I think not a lot of, but there are a portion of people out there who don't have a local dealer or what have you. And so, you know, we understand the landscape of e-commerce. I think surface level, some dealers are like, oh, like you have a website. And it's like, well, but you could have a website. And it's not even like, let's just take UltraView out of the equation. Like your competitor down the street could have a website, but also a dealer in California could have a website and you could, you know, they could be taking sales from a person in your area. Like, and so for me, it's like, I would recommend every dealer to have a website. And I would recommend every dealer to crank it as hard as you can. And when we look at our list of dealers, like the dealers that perform the best with our products do have a website and they do sell it online.
I think so. It's for me, when I came into archery, it still seems to me kind of old school, right? A lot of the shops that I've kind of ventured into or observed from the outside, I look at some of them. I mean, COVID was the big transition point when shops were like, oh shit, e-commerce, that's a thing. I need that. Yeah. I can't rely just on local because we're shut down. And it seems like archery industry is kind of still operates kind of old school in some places that I've been to. And I would agree. I think e-commerce is critical for, I don't care what business you have, for a business in general. But I do like whenever the brands that we work to look out for their dealers, right? So they enforce MAP policies,
right?
So because it does level the playing field,
right?
And then they're able to, like I said, the big thing is like the dealer launches, right? Like you guys did, which is incredible because we've had launches where you can't get any inventory ever,
so, and that's fair, right? And I say that would be a fair point of concern. Would be if a manufacturer is launching a product, but then embargoing inventory to their website and preventing shipping from any other partner.
Because archery people still want to go into a shop and put hands on it, feel it, grab it, and buy it. There's still, that's massive in this industry. And that's why I think shops are critical for the archery industry.
Right. And so we, when we launched a product, we let our entire dealer base know that, hey, new product coming out, you may want to get this on order. Because our best dealers also buy in, get the inventory. We get them the inventory. So when we do launch, that dealer can go, hey, UltraView just came out with a new site and we have them here, by the way. So you can walk in this weekend and pick one up or just look at it if you're curious. Those dealers do the best, but it would certainly not be okay if manufacturers were launching a product, building all that hype, getting dealer orders in on that product beforehand, and then having inventory and not shipping. I think one of the things we do, though, is it's also it kind of works both ways, though, too, because you will have accounts where we open it up a month. Sometimes it's 30 days. Sometimes we try to keep it closer to our chest, so maybe it's a couple weeks. We open it up. We allow all accounts to place their orders. Most accounts place orders and get in ahead of time and do it. And then you launch the product, and a couple weeks after the fact, you'll have your shop that was like, hey, like we just placed our order, and you're shipping online, but we don't have our order. It's like, well, yeah, we're on a huge backlog now. Like we took our whole dealer base order in first. Our website does have product in stock, but we gave you 40. This was 45 days ago. And so it is a balance, and it's if we don't. And I will say it's core to us generating demand, because what I think a lot of dealers like about the best brands that they work with is they're able to generate a strong enough demand to bring foot traffic into the retail store, right? And I think one of the good things dealers can leverage, which manufacturers can't, is they can have that inventory, which this is probably a little too nerdy and geeky to talk about on the podcast. So I'm curious to hear how you're managing your inventory for online sales versus retail after this. But they can have their inventory in store, but then they can also offer that for sale online. And if there's enough of a demand, you want that customer coming into your store, building that personal relationship, maybe grabbing something else while they're in the store, right? And that is something a dealer should really leverage, is that you can have this one product. You could have one product in stock on a shelf in your retail store. If there's enough demand from that manufacturer, a customer may walk in and want to look at it. Maybe they buy something else. But you can also have that online for sale and the entire World Wide Web of e-commerce. And if somebody in Minnesota happens to just look for one that's in stock anywhere and it happens to be yours, they can grab it. And so it's certainly a balance. It's certainly a balance that I think we try to be very, intentional about. We very much support our dealer base when it comes to MAP. We're very persnickety about MAP, and not just MAP, but where our products are sold, right? Like, so you're not going to find an UltraView product on Amazon or eBay or any of those third-party marketplaces. And we're sticklers about that. We're sticklers about MAP. We are very upfront with our deal. I'm working on our 2026 dealer program, and so this is all just front of mind. But there's 4 MAP holidays on the UltraView brand. There's 4 days of MAP holiday on the UltraView brand, and it's historic to our core story as a business. And it's Black Friday to Cyber Monday, 4 days a year. It's like the Wild West, and it's because it's fun. The customers love it. Very early on in the business, it's a whole other story of, I had placed all my orders for our scope housings, and stuff wasn't selling. I was selling 1 or 2 scope housings a week. This was when I was in the corner of George's archery shop in a room probably not much bigger than this. And I had placed my order for scopes from the local machinist. And when you're machining products, you got to buy in bulk to get your economies of scale and pricing right. And I was selling 1 or 2 scopes a week. And this is one of those moments of unknown despair, right? You're just staring into the abyss of the unknown. It was like, oh, this sucks, because every 2 weeks I had to go to the machinist and write a check for more scopes that I was just stacking up in a pile. And that year, it wasn't as intentional as you would think, but it's Black Friday, time to run a sale. So we put on a sale, and we were a brand new company at the time. Nobody knew really what we were about, or what the product was. And holy crap, did it rip on Black Friday. It was really a gift from God type of level of a phenomena. It was like the floodgates opened. It seemed like that entire pile of scopes went to nothing, and we shipped an insane amount of product into the marketplace. And then what happened is people got it in their hands, and they went, holy crap, this is awesome. And then they told 5 of their buddies. And then ever since then, that was that was probably 2018 or 2019. It was the UltraView 2 scope housing. Ever since then, it was lights out for 5 years straight, because people got it. They went, holy crap, this is awesome. And they told their friends through word of mouth. That's what put us on the map. And so core to business origin story was Black Friday. So every year we've tried to just pay homage to that. And it's hey, Black Friday, it's a crazy time of year to get your hands on some UltraView gear, because if you've been on the fence and you're thinking about it, maybe not. Our stuff is expensive. Yes, it's top of the pyramid, premium. It's best in class, bar none. It's a lot to spend on a widget. If you're on the fence, now's a great time to get in. And so a lot of people jump over the fence, and we don't get a lot of returns. And a lot of the people that get it go, holy crap, this is kind of awesome. And they tell their buddy, and it's that flywheel. And so 4 days a year, Wild West, everybody can participate on every website, every retail location, anywhere. And that's the only 4 days a year MAP's broken. And that's kind of the why behind it though too.
Yeah, I understand. I think the good companies that we dealt with, they operate in a similar fashion, right? So the companies that as a dealer you want to work with, you've nailed it, right? They generate interest within the product. They're good at driving foot traffic to the dealer and getting people in the door, because when you have a product that I've got to market and I've got to sell and I've got to push, and there's no marketing from the manufacturer side, it's a difficult.
It's
very challenging.
Very challenging.
And not very rewarding, because I'm putting in the money for whether it's imagery or videos, and we're doing all the legwork. It's tough. So it's incredible to work with brands that realize how important quality marketing really is in order to get people in the door. Because at the end of the day, for us, I'm trying to get people in the door. I want people to walk in.
Right.
And we want to carry the product that people want and want to put their hands on. And that's refreshing, because there's some out there that are still missing the mark, It's 2025, missing the mark on the marketing, how critical it is. Media is important to a brand.
Right. Yeah. And that's why and I mean, I know a lot of our best dealers personally, no different than like coming out here. And
which I say is super cool, man. Again, that you take the time to come out and you've gone on these different podcasts and you put yourself out there, right? Because this is completely different, right? Yeah. So going off track, sorry. Willing to put yourself out there and have open and honest conversations. And like you said, you're very transparent, which is refreshing to see, because there's some that we have no idea who the face of the company is. So I commend you on that, man.
Thanks.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's core to who, I've been sucked in by the business growing so fast. Like I haven't been out as much as I would prefer, but as much as I can, I try to be. And, when we open up the gates early on to dealers and go, hey, something new is coming, our best dealers always are just on their toes. They pay attention. They get their orders in. And man, I'll tell you, one of the things we've done early on that has been a strategic delimiter from us to everybody else in the industry is like, we ship. A lot of people in the industry like don't ship, which seems amazingly confusing to me, because like you don't make any money on a product that doesn't ship, both manufacturing and the dealer, right? And so we open up pre-ordering for new products. Our best dealers always get in early, so that when you do have that demand, when UltraView opens up when we pull the curtain off, and a dealer can go, they can post something as simple as they can post on their Instagram story or wherever they communicate to their, dealer base, whether it's email or their customer base, whether it's email or what, then go, hey, new UV slider 2 in stock in the store. Like, come check it out. Like, that brings people into the shop.
Critical.
Yeah.
Like, as a shop, that's what we need. People walking in the door. It's tough. I mean, archery is a pretty small niche when you compare it to any other industry. And one thing I have noticed is it seems like there are less and less good shops from, we go to the Total Archery events, as you guys do. We run into Billy and the crew there all the time.
Shout out, Billy.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Good dude. He represents you guys really, really well. And, you guys just do a good job at these events, interacting with the public. Some good personalities out there.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? The shops. It's important getting people in the shops.
But I don't know. I was thinking as you were saying that, like, I think you guys do a really good job. I know we were on the phone probably a couple months ago now, and I was like, hey man, also, I just kind of want to let you know, like, your stuff is like looking great, whether it's,
shout out Joey.
Yeah. Like I follow you guys, really any dealer that has a social media platform, I try to follow that carries UltraView stuff. And it's like, your stuff looks, we came in back here, I'm like, gosh, this podcast studio is sick. It's like, you guys really, your media looks great, whether it's your podcast, YouTube instructionals, or Instagram reels. And it's like, it takes time. You can't just turn that on and expect your entire business to change overnight. But I think where at least I get a unique perspective in the industry, because I get to see, we work with several hundred dealers now, and I can kind of get to see who is actually doing the best and then why, right? And so I can very clearly see that our best dealers are ones that are able to have the online presence. They are able to build a sub-community kind of underneath their brand name and have a following and offer, whether it's just great entertaining content or great informational content. And they're doing the full instructional how-to breakdowns, or the in the field, this is how you do it, to just making some like funny videos or just like controversial videos, like talking about stuff, right? Like, that's good. And our best dealers are doing that. And I think you guys have done a great job to set yourself up for success there. And then it's like, you get the e-commerce in place, you get which it's a broad term, but your social media, it's really just media now. Like
absolutely.
Social media, get rid of the social. It's really just media. You put that out there, and then you just keep hammering on it, and you just make good stuff. The thing I recommend to anybody is like, just do a good job. Make good quality things, and like, people will learn, people will come, and it will grow over time. And then you fast forward 5-10 years, and like, you could have an entire national brand behind the thing now.
Right. So that's what's interesting for us, right? We're a small shop in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and we go to these total archery events or anywhere, and we're recognized outside of our community, which is super cool. And they recognize you by name, and it's odd, right? If you've never been in that, because people are like, hey, Zach, or hey, JR, or hey, Kolby, whoever. And you're like, man, I've never even been here. We're at a Walmart in Tennessee, and someone's flagging you down. And it's cool to see that impact. And, you know, it's hard. When you look at social media and I look at our stuff, there's a lot of, you gotta have thick skin. Right? Yeah. God, dude, like, I know you know better than anybody.
The trolls, like, oh my gosh, I can't even.
It's
the Facebook group chats, dude, or the Facebook, what are they called? The Facebook groups?
Yeah,
I think that's what they are.
Oh
my God. I can't even. I just don't even anymore.
It's hard because you feel like you're trying to do something honest and good to the best of your ability, right? I am by no means saying I am an expert in any of this,
right?
But I do have a lot of experience, and experience that I can share, you know, I'm not telling you how to do it. This is just my experience with things. And we try to be as unbiased as we can with things. And man, there are some people that it's like, man, this is just my experience. Right. It's not the end all be all.
Right.
Why are you angry at me?
Why are you angry? Yeah. There's a lot. I don't know why. It's just like
we eat our own in the archery community.
We do. We're our own worst enemy. And it's just like, this is a whole separate podcast in itself, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's good, I guess, because people are talking and people care.
Right.
You know, and I think you know, I try to be aware of it as much as possible. I think what does bother me is when a lot of stuff, there's opinions, there's thoughts of like, oh, you know, a lot of it can be product related. Oh, maybe there's an issue. And like, we care a lot about that. We fix our products fast. We stand behind everything that we make. And so we were able to catch it. But it's just like part of our Slider 2 brand film. There's a launch film. There's a section where it's like, you know, there's a lot of noise out there. And, you know, when you're building a business, any type of business, you have to filter out the noise from the actual real feedback. And that's why I talk about being directly linked with our customers, right? And it's like, what is just internet noise versus what is actually real feedback that we should take and implement? And I think the trolls, the trolls.
I hate saying the word, man.
I know. I don't know. They're fun. I love them. Shout out trolls.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in no matter what. It's just, you look at some of it.
But it's so easy, man. You know how easy it would be to just to fabricate Instagram reel that you know would just go rocket ship viral just by like just stoking the controversy. You could do it so intentionally, and it's just like, and when you see, what is it called, like satire media or something like that, it's like you see that on Instagram so much nowadays, and like, oh, this is clearly like fabricated and fake, but like everybody in the comments is just like losing their mind, and it's hilarious.
Eating it up, man. Yeah, man. It's cool to see you out and doing that and willing to put yourself out there for that, because I mean, anybody can criticize literally anything for anything and everything. But it is refreshing. And I think this is why I really wanted to have this conversation with you, was so that one, for me, I just like talking. I like your mindset. And the more I've talked to you about the entrepreneurial side of things, business, it's intrigued me. But your willingness to be direct with everything and be open and honest about it, because I think there's a lot that people want to know. Like, what is the mission behind, what does the actual owner have to say about this?
Right.
And there's a lot of companies that don't do that. I just did a podcast with the CEO of PSE now, and he was the same, man. It's cool to see these companies coming on board and being willing to be open and honest and have a real conversation.
Right. I mean, I think one of the things that I've seen happen now that UltraView's been around long enough to go through many different life cycles is like early on, everybody knew who we were, what we were about, our story. And I think our very early success just became so much to like, just, you know, drinking water from a fire hose. You know, what happened to me is I got sucked into the business, right? I got sucked into the business to, when you're ripping off that fast, I mean, it's a million issues and problems a day that need to be solved like this, right? And so you got sucked in, and I think we did lose some of the the face of the company, for lack of a better term, and not just the face, but like the story, like what is UltraView? How did they get here? Because we started in target archery too. You know, we started making like target archery equipment and really catering and focusing on that subset of the archery market. And then, you know, as we started to grow, expand, and go, oh, wait, this is like actually a real business now. We make products and sell products in the archery world. If we're going to make products and sell products in the archery world, and we're a business and we want to be a great business, what are we going to sell? And it's like, well, you're going to sell bow hunting equipment. Now, I don't come from a like freakishly bow hunting background like Chris and a lot of people at UltraView do. I come from the target archery freak side background. And so, we are able to lean on a lot of institutional like knowledge internally. But when we made that shift and it was really the slider, I think it was button. Button was like our first half step into bow hunting, because it's really a bow hunting. You can use it for target archery. It's like a best in class thumb button, but like it was really designed with the bow hunter in mind. But slider 1 was really like, oh, this is a bow hunting sliding sight through and through. There's zero or very little application in target archery here. It's like this brand new awesome sight, which is way better than everything else. Just hit the market from a name brand of UltraView and bow hunting. And a lot of people in the industry didn't know like where we came from, what we were about. They don't know me or anything. And it's just like, oh, this random name, UltraView. We present as a big company. Like if you go to our website, if you see our marketing materials, our videos, how we present is like a mature, well-funded like company. Like we're really actually the opposite of that. And it's like, the business has been bootstrapped from a broke college kid's 3D printer to what we are today. And it's just like, we present that way because we try to come out with quality stuff, not just from a product, from a marketing standpoint, but it doesn't really show the scrappy side of the business. And I think we've worked really hard lately, and I think we've done a good job. We're continuing to push on it hard, but like really open the curtain and show. And so the Slider 2 launch film, it has like almost 250,000 views on YouTube now. It was our first big step at like showing like what we're all about. I mean, everybody at the business is, I don't know, probably 80% of our staff is less than 30. Like we're a young company. So I'm 28. Our head of ops is 27. Craig, who runs brand and marketing, like he's in his 30s. His whole team is really young. Davis's whole team is really young. And it's like I will say that we're all insanely talented. And, I have pretty high standards. And everybody on the team is just like so freakishly good at what they do, whether it's ops, product design, brand and marketing, like everything. We do present as a very large company, but we don't really show the inner workings of actually, we're really just a, couple dozen freakishly passionate young guys that are trying to like really make something cool and awesome here. And I think over the years, we'll kind of clean the air up on that. But a lot of people are like, ooh, this, they thought we were like I don't know, backed by like private equity or daddy's money deep pockets, and they think we're like a Chinese like brand, and it's just like we're not really any of that actually. Actually, we are really core to the sport in a level that most people have no idea.
I like it. So, I like it, man. That's cool to hear. So man.
We have a lot going on. This as a dealer, stay tuned. Lots of things coming. Dude. I mean, we still have a lot more in our pockets for the back half of the year here. And I think we're going to even open up that curtain like at a level. I don't think by January 1st, I don't think anybody is going to have a question on who we are or what we're about.
Cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. We're getting up there in time. Archery is every year it's about trying to innovate something new, right? Or at least present something new. I mean, that's the market. We see it in the comments from all the people. It's like, it's another bow. It does the same thing. There's a slight change. How do you guys keep up with the innovation side? Like, I know we talked about it a little bit, but do you like feel forced? Like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. It's another year. We gotta drop something new to stay relevant. How do you battle that?
That's a great question. There's a lot to it. Like I said, I'm a transparent guy, so I'm gonna probably give you an answer that most people wouldn't, right? Where do I want to start with this? UltraView, we're really clear about like what our product mission is. A lot of people ask, what's next? And it's like, well, our goal is to make the best product in each category for the passionate archer, period. And so the lucky thing we have is we're in many categories. We're in sights, we're in releases, we're now in arrows with our partnership with Victory. We have a whole accessory lineup of grips and stabilizers and all of that. And so we are able to, when it comes to how we think about innovation with product development, is we don't start with the business needs. We start with the customer first. Like that's always the winning recipe. And we start with the customer needs first, and we look where are there opportunities for improvement and ultimately innovation. Because when businesses innovate and then take that innovation and try to put it into a product and sell the product, that's not the recipe for success. That will burn you. Your innovation has to be fueled by your customers' needs. And you have to find your customers' problems, and then maybe it doesn't require much innovation to solve those problems, but start with customer problems, solve those problems, sell a valuable solution to the customer. And so we're able to look at the whole landscape of archery accessories and go, where is there the most opportunity right now? And that was really the core of UV Slider 1. Was like, dude, there was a gargantuan amount of opportunity in sliding sights. As a company that made scopes, like we knew there was a huge opportunity to improve that there. And I mean, you can look now, like every sight manufacturer is like trying to sprint to keep up, like dead serious. And like we moved the needle hard and fast in that category. And so we don't have to go, oh, we have to come out with a new bow every year because we make bows, or insert name category here, release, sight, what have you. We're able to go, where is there the most opportunity to innovate? Where are the most problems to solve? On occasion, it's on a product line that we sell. Like if we have a product line, we have all these things we want to clean up and make better, we'll do that. And so that's what, like, if we have a needle, like a compass of what category or where we're going next, like that's how we follow that. And then this is the side that a lot of manufacturers or people in my position won't tell you, is most of the innovation, at least for a young, fast-growing, highly innovative, new category after new category after new category company, most of that work and innovation is really how the heck are we even going to make this dang thing? And not just make it, but like make it economically so that we can sell this at scale through distribution and dealers and all of that, right? Because if we said, hey, this new product is awesome and everybody in your region is going to want it, but your dealer margin is 20%, are you stocking that?
Dude, we've gone away from a lot this year because of that.
Yeah. And so like that's, I think, a side of things that the customer doesn't realize or maybe forgets about. Is like, look, go support your local dealer. They sell that product for, they have to follow MAP policies. They sell you a $300 product. Yes, they have margin in it because they're providing you a valuable service. And if you bust your strings or need something set up or don't know how to do it, like you're gonna need that dealer there. That's how they stay in business. And that's why I say dealers invest in our product. And so when we're designing a product, and this is actually most of the work product design engineers do. Yes, it's a sexy, cool job, but I think we get a lot of applications. Hey, I want to come work as a product design engineer. And they think they're going to be working in all these like research labs, doing product testing and doing all the cool, sexy, like curvature, like doing all the cool product. It's like, well, actually, no, a lot of the work is how are you going to make this awesome product that we designed manufacturable at scale? So we can get everybody's margin line to work out into the supply chain. And really the design for manufacturing, making it as economical as possible so that the price point is, most of our products, like this was the thing with UV1K, which is another podcast in itself, but like the the entire project for designing that product was like, how are we even going to make this material like at all even close to being in an arrow that's not like $1,000 a 6-pack? Like, and so most of that work was that we made a lot of headway on it, and we are continuing to make a lot of headway in that regards across our category so that we can introduce products at a price point that works, where consumers will buy it. Because if it's too expensive, the consumer picks, yeah, that's just too expensive, I'm not going to buy it. And they're the ultimate decision maker. It's got to be valuable. It's got to provide enough value to the customer where they're like, yes, we're going to buy that. The dealer has to go, oh, I'm going to invest in that because there's enough margin in there for me to like actually be a business and sell this product and set it up and help a customer base. And then like, actually funny enough, we also have to stay in business. So like weird, business is business, right? And it's like, people think that we're like, lining our pockets and like everybody drives to UltraView in a fancy sports car, and that's the furthest from the truth. And it's like, that's the whole, like all of the product design work and innovation, most of that people won't talk about, right? But all of that work is what goes into developing a product. And I think when we talk about these products ripping off and being successful, it's because we're aware of that. We're aware it has to work for you. It has to work for the customer, it has to work for you, it has to work for a distributor if you're buying from a distributor, it has to work for us. Like everybody, we design a product for like 12 different people.
Right.
And like the ultimate winner is like whoever's watching this right now is the ultimate decision maker on, is this widget a thing or not? And like, dude, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We do like decades of work in like probably a couple years. So let me ask you this. I mean, because you guys are a young company, you guys are a bunch of young dudes. I mean, do you feel a lot of pressure with that, with the industry, with the fast-paced industry, that it's constantly not enough, or the constant need for innovation to stay relevant, to stay at the top? Because you guys are at the pinnacle right now. You're at the top. And in order to stay there, I mean, that's tough. That's a lot. It is tough. I think, this is a very... I say this a lot. UltraView is a very small niche market, but it's also a lot larger than most people realize. But in the grand scheme of business as a whole, like it's a small market. But and I don't know why, this market is so innovative and so entrepreneurial, and so there's enough of a subset of a customer base out there willing to try a new widget, gizmo, or gadget, that if they see something on Facebook or Instagram or what have you, like they will go out and buy it and try it. And if it's not good, it's not going to last for very long.
That's archers.
That's
Tinkers.
archery, like tinkerers, and like, and so I don't know, God put me in the industry because like it really does scratch every single one of my itches. Like I'm a very mechanical guy. Like I'm not a software guy, mechanical guy. So like mechanical products, tinkering, testing, entrepreneurial. And so like all of that is like, archery is like a soup of all of that together. And, there is, if you're too slow or you sit around for too long, you will get passed. And so that's a gift and a curse of us saying, hey, we're going to have the best product in each category, period, end all be all. Is when we come out with a product in a category, it has to be good enough to where we can go, all right, this product's good enough and it doesn't need to be touched for a couple years. Look at UV button. We haven't touched UV button for 3 years and that thing is still lights out. And other categories where maybe there's more competition or what have you, or maybe there's just, we come out with our first version, like sights. There's 2 to 3 times more parts in a sight than there is a bow. It's insane. Like the supply chain, the manufacturing, the assembly, like everything. There's 2 to 3 times more parts in a sight than there are a bow. And all of the tolerances are much tighter on a sight than there are a bow. And so it's a lot of work to design that with all of the variables and customers that I just spoke to. It's a lot of work to design that to where it works. And so a lot of the work isn't in that category for us because it's just a gargantuan. Like it takes a lot. But it's exhausting. But I don't know. I was, like I said, I love it. Like I really do love it. And I just like drive myself into the ground, and then I have to eventually like pick my head up and go like, whoa. Like actually, when I think about this here, I love what I do so much that like I just will like wake up in exhaustion and like, oh, like how did I end up here? And it's like, oh yeah, because like your work on a day-to-day is like a drug and you're an addict, and it's just like you're in it. So I don't know. That's UltraView.
I like it. That's it, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, in order to do that, I mean, you've got to have, it comes down to it. I mean, you've got to have a passion for what you're doing. If there's no passion behind what you're doing, if you don't feel like you're fulfilling that thing or providing a service or a thing for somebody, I mean, guys start something all the time and they just quit. I mean,
it's tough. I don't know. Like, and like I said, I'm probably overly transparent, but like I'm not. Even Craig, like our brand and marketing guy, he's a pretty like transparent, like tell you as it is type of guy. And I think it's like, it is what it is. Like it's a very interesting market. You know, this industry is lucky to have as much dealers as it has. Like the heart of this industry, like I wrote a dealer letter once, and the core of that dealer letter was like, listen up, dealer. You're the heart of this industry. Like your beat is the industry's beat. And it's, dude, I was a range rat growing up. I lived in a pro shop just like this as a kid for a decade, just in here all the time. Like they would close the shop and they would lock me in it at night so I could shoot, and then I would like sneak out a back door. And like I lived in an archery shop. And so like I get it. And like this industry is such a unique industry. It's so relational. Everybody knows everybody. There's so much like gossip and controversy and innovation and entrepreneurship. It's just like, welcome to archery.
It's fun, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I love it, man. Yeah, there's so much opportunity and there's so many cool people you get to meet, man. I mean, and again, the fact that, the constant innovation that happens, I mean, it's unique, man. It's definitely an interesting industry as a whole. And like I said, I can't get enough of it. I love it. Everything we do, man, my whole life revolves around archery.
It's a rabbit hole too, right?
Dude,
like you can see guys getting into it like for the first time, and they can spend like years just getting deeper and deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole. And then they wake up and they realize they have an entire box of UltraView releases because they just bought 3 of each kind because they just kept wanting to like get one more, get one more, get one more, get one. And we see pictures of guys that take out, I don't know why. I don't know what the heck these people are doing, but they'll tag us on Instagram with a hand full of releases. And they have like 6 releases, different like material setups or whatever. It's like, what are you doing with 6 releases, bro? It's like you're too deep in the rabbit hole. You need to pull out now.
Pull back, buddy. Pull out. See, I'm the worst. Like when I get something that works, I'm like, all right, don't touch it.
See, that's how I am now. That's how I am now. Like I just did my whole like Road to 30X like little cameo thing. Did you see that?
Yep.
And it's like I got to the point where I finally shot the 30X game in the YouTube series, and then I started like tinkering to try to make it better. But I'm at the point now I'm like, just don't touch it. Don't
even breathe on it, man.
Don't move it. Yep. And it's just like, because the time of tinkering takes away time from like actually doing.
I agree. So, and I think that's especially like I see a lot of new archers who are guilty of that, who shouldn't be there yet, right? Like there's so many foundational things you've got to understand and processes you've got to become good at before you really need to dive in the rabbit hole of arrow weight.
Oh my God. I've never subscribed to I've never gone down that arrow rabbit hole as some people do.
So I'm a very similar, right? I'm a firm believer in you don't got to overthink a lot of this stuff, man.
There's a lot of voodoo magic out there. Like people float. Have you heard of people like floating arrows in the bathtub to see?
Christ, no.
to see like, there's so many weird things that you'll hear people do. And I'm like, bro, just take a little break.
Bro, you ain't going to outshoot that thing,
yeah,
man.
No.
Yeah, no, it's funny, man. But, I'm the worst salesman, right? I own an archery shop, and I'm the first person to say, yeah, you don't need that, man.
Need that. Yeah.
So
right.
Don't come to me. Like if we're looking for sales, I'm like, yeah, I got to step back.
Yeah.
Let these guys run
Pull me out.
But
man. I also I'm self-aware enough to where like, at least in my 30X series, I would find myself wanting to tinker or play with something, but it was fun.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's to the tinkering and the mechanical side of it that is. And I do think there's a part to it where I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm just in a tinkering mood right now, and this is fun for me. And maybe I find something that works, maybe not. Maybe I revert back to where I was, but like I'm shooting like crap today, and I kind of just want to like creep tune all day long and like to see what's going on, or arrows. Like it took me forever to set up a pair. My wife, I was like, hey babe, want to watch a movie while I fletch arrows? Like every night for like 2 weeks, I was trying to set up a set of 27s that worked for me. But like, I don't know, that's the fun. That's the fun. And I think that's why I said like, it's really a gift from God, at least from my seat. Like I was plopped in this industry because it does scratch every itch, like the tinkering, mechanical, entrepreneurial business. Like it's a lot of fun for me.
It is for me too, man. I think that's why I enjoy. It's easy for me to come to work every day, even though sometimes I'm like, oh God,
yeah,
I feel like I'm, beating my face against the ground. But at the end of the day, I look back, I'm like, man, this is, I enjoy this. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the relationships that we've built. And then I enjoy bow hunting.
Right.
I enjoy being out in nature. And it for me, same thing. It scratches all those things. I could do the media side, which is interesting to me. I like hanging out with Joey, learning about cameras, building stuff like this, talking to people, man. I mean, for me, this industry, it does it all for me. Yeah. So, but let me ask you this. So, we're getting ready to close this thing out. As far as dealers go, what do you see for the dealers that really do well? I think we hit on it a little bit, but what do you see your best performing dealers? What's a commonality that you see amongst them?
Let's see. I'll pull a few KPIs on this. It's probably three or four things. I think step one, which I know for a lot of dealers can be very, very tricky. And then it's kind of like a chicken and egg game. Our best dealers are able to stock a healthy amount of inventory at all times. And then when we come out with a new product, they're able to place a very healthy stocking order. But that may be a chicken and not the egg. Actually, that is the chicken and not the egg. Because what builds on that is our best dealers also, they have a more broad presence than just in-person retail. They're able to draw people to them, whether it's through media like this or whatever, or, we have a great shop. Now they have social media too. But I don't see them doing like podcasts and like reels like you guys do, but it's a great shop in New Mexico, Hit or Miss.
Oh, dude, I follow Hit or Miss. That's an awesome shop.
But what they have that is more broad than just like foot traffic retail is they have probably one of the most insane indoor archery ranges in the country.
So that's why I followed them. I found them on social media, and I was looking. I actually had a guy who's here. His name's Adam. He used to work down there. He was stationed down there, and he's the one that told me about their shop. And I pulled it up and looked at their range, man. And if there's one thing I'm jealous of, man, they have their operation looks awesome. Yeah. And then their range is like second to none, man. It is incredible.
And so they host events, but they're able to draw in a lot of people to that range. They host events, and it's fun. If you go to their shop, it's like 95% range, 5% retail, right? And so you're able to just draw in and be a little bit bigger than just like, I have a retail store and archery equipment hanging on the walls. Why is nobody here? I guess maybe those are kind of two separate things. The online, and then being able to like draw in, continue. What it is a community.
That's it.
They're able to build. They're able to build a local community of people that are relationally just hanging out at the archery shop. They have a much larger presence than just that locally. They're able to drive online eyeballs. 9 times out of 10 they have a pretty well set up e-commerce platform. And then because of that, and I think as running a business, to be able to do that, especially in a retail side of things, you got to have a good back end of your business, your accounting, your cash flow, your receivables, your payables, your working capital, which is the side of business that nobody ever talks about. Like all that has to be lined up and churning right. And then only then are you able to put yourself in a position to where I think what this allows you to do is significantly grow. And then when new products come out, you're able to place healthy enough, and this is true to our best dealers. You're able to place healthy enough stocking orders to where what you're doing is you're grabbing market share. Because if you have the good back end of the business set up, you got your working capital under control, you have a strong local community, and you have a larger presence on the internet, and you're able to get that lined up to place larger stocking orders, you take market share, and then what you do is you're growing your business into being much larger than just brick and mortar retail, right? And then fast forward, year over year, decade after decade, fast forward, I mean, that's what Lancaster has done for 30, 40 years now. I mean, they just were the first pro shop to have an online store. And they've just, Rob Kaufhold has very high standards too. He cares about good stuff, great customer service. Like, they're just good people and they do good stuff, right? And like, do that for 30, 40 years in a row and look up where you go. And so like, that's kind of the recipe for success, I think, for a lot of our best dealers. And to what we said when we started the podcast, it's like, it's crazy how long overnight successes seem to take, right? Like, you guys will probably be doing this for several years, and then in 5 or 6 years, a guy will stop you and he'll be talking to you, and it'll seem like you have been a thing forever. Right. And it's like, wow. And it's like, actually, no, we've been working our butts off, and you guys were working your butts off before this was a thing. Right. Right. And so like, it's all that goes into it.
Yeah, I agree, man. Time. It just takes time, man. There's a lot of mistakes that's got to be made. But there's so much great information now too. I mean, even with stuff like this, being able to talk to somebody who's so successful in scaling a brand and become a nationally recognized brand with incredible partnerships, being able to sit down and pull that from you is awesome, man. And I'm hopeful that this podcast is helpful to some of the dealers too, and kind of open their eyes and where the priorities should lie.
That's great. Like, cause the dealer community, I know you said you guys are really like in on the dealer community. Like, I've never even considered ideas. There could be a whole channel or a whole valuable resource out there for archery dealers, or it's just media and content.
So that's my goal behind the archery project.
Really?
Yeah. So the archery project is not about me just selling my brand. This podcast is about me being able to sit down with people in all walks of life in archery, right? So I have other dealers that come on here. I have massive business and company owners, CEOs.
That's great.
And that's the whole point of this. This is that network to provide value, not just to the end user, but to the dealer as well, because there's a lot of dealers who have not seen the value in the media side of things yet. And my goal with this is to help them expand on what they're doing. I had John Winker on from First Flight. Incredible.
Yeah, I know John.
Yeah, just lots of good people who are able to provide information from their stories, right? Their successes and failure, and put them out there.
That's a great idea. So was that like the genesis idea, or did you kind of realize that after doing it a couple cycles?
It's come. When I started doing this, I just wanted to sit down with my friends and talk hunting stuff. Yeah. And then it started to evolve, and I think on it and building on it, and it's evolving into that.
That's great.
Because when I started this, it didn't have the name of it was The Show. And it turned into the Archery Project because I wanted it to be bigger than just my brand. I wanted it to be all things archery. Yeah. And for me, what was important was dealers and relationships and community and media, and all those things are my favorite things to talk about. So that's what the Archery Project is. It's building on that. That's
great. So like, if you're able to like really hammer in and develop and grab a lot of dealers to be like, that dude, I'm excited to see where this goes. And I think that you were able to find that natural thread. Like, your customers or whoever you're providing value to will pull you in that direction. Right. And you kind of have to have a sixth sense to know the direction you're being pulled, and then like let it happen. Right. And so I'm very interested. That would be because there's a need there. Like, just from what I know, like in the industry, like there's a need there. So like, dude, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, I am too, man. It's interesting. It's fun.
Maybe we can do this is me getting ahead of myself here. See, it's like, sorry, Craig, making promises on the internet here. Like, even to like, we care about our dealer base to the point where it's like, maybe I send like once a month dealer letters out to like our dealer. Like, maybe I can even link this podcast to like in that note and go, hey guys, I sat down with one of our great dealers in North Carolina, Extreme Outfitters. We did a podcast. It was like super heavily focused on dealer and manufacturer relationships. It has some of UltraView stories, some of Extreme story. Like, check it out. Like, we're more than happy to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, man. I mean, to me, it's important because everyone talks about everything else, but not everyone talks about what's keeping the archery industry alive, and that's the dealers. The dealers are critical to archery, good shops. And, you know, the more I've talked to people, I see a lot of shops going away that have really struggled. And my goal is, right, it's competition, right? But competition is important. It's healthy.
Right.
You need it. You know, we got dealers down the road that I'm friends with. And I think that there's plenty of market share for everybody. And, you know, I think it's important that, you know, there's good dealers that these guys can go to, because we've seen it more each year that it seems like, man, I had a dealer, they didn't survive. COVID crushed them. COVID was hard for a lot of people. And if we can do a little bit to help dealers out, that's my goal with this.
Yeah. And I think even clearing up, like, we care a lot, like UltraView cares a lot about the dealer, and we're structuring ourselves to where dealers that want to be super successful with us can be, right? Yes. And so we're get set up. We're super easy to get set up, become a dealer. We have a very easy to use online portal. We open up new products ahead of time. We ship. You know, we have a great dealer support team internally to take care of guys. Like, we're more than happy to do like whatever. And as we grow, we continue to see even more and more. And I think it takes time, because once dealers go, oh yeah, UltraView did actually, like, we think we're positioning our dealers to be successful, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, are we or not? And it takes time for dealers to see. And so if dealers have been, oh, wait, this was a successful recipe for me, I'm going to continue to invest in UltraView. We've seen with Slider 2 launch, like I said, it's been baffling. Like, the dealer numbers were wild. And so we've seen dealers now go through enough cycles without how we operate our dealer program where they're like, holy crap, this was successful. UltraView did get orders in pre-launch. UltraView did ship pre-launch. I had inventory on launch day. People came in for the site that weekend. Like, I'm going to continue on this pattern here. And so it takes time. And I think we are just now seeing like a lot of that reward with like just crazy dealer support.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's refreshing to hear, man. I like it. It makes me excited. Yeah. And you know, it was important to me I was able to sit down with you and talk a little bit. I know we talked briefly, but I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth, man. And it's really, again, I can't say it's refreshing. It's cool to hear. I like the support. I'm excited for my future with you, the future of UltraView. It's exciting to watch a bunch of young dudes who have taken this
trying to figure it out,
just figuring it out, but have done such a good job, man. And I just want to say thanks for, you know, taking the time to sit down with me today and
man,
be open and honest. It's awesome.
No, I'm glad I could be here. I guess I'll be up next Labor Day, but like, you know,
a year.
I know like I said, if this is definite, if dealers are listening to this, should I speak to that camera?
Yes, that's
okay.
You.
It's that camera right there. If you're listening to this, like, I, as the owner and operator of UltraView, I personally care a lot about you and your success, but also everybody at UltraView cares about you and your success with our products at your store. And every single year, we're trying to get better to work with how we work with dealers. You know, we've been working with Extreme Outfitters for several years now. I care so much that if you want to work with us, if you have an issue with us, if anything ever comes up, you can get to me very easily just by sending dealers an email, ask for me. I am more than happy to get connected with you. Like, I text you, right? And so like, I don't want to text several hundred dealers,
right?
But like, I will, if it needs to be done, I'll, you know, get on the phone and talk to you. Max, that runs our dealer support program, he's a co-owner of an archery shop with his dad. He understands all the pain points of a dealer. And so we're trying to structure ourselves for wild success for you in our partnership. And so stay tuned. Slider 2 was a huge success, strong step in the right direction. We have a lot more coming this year.
Super excited, man. So obviously everybody can follow UltraView on your website, all of your social media platforms, but you also have a personal social media that you post on. What's your social media people can follow?
That's a good question. I think it's Kolby_Hanley. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
If you just, I looked it up this morning.
Go to Instagram and go to Kolby_Hanley. That's kind of a behind the scenes look. It's a silly page. Most of the content is straight from my phone. It's not quality, but it is real and it is raw.
Behind the scenes is important. And people love to see it.
And so I keep my like story relatively up to date with what I'm doing around the office. I'm having like some shoulder issues that I'm working through, but hopefully this fall I'm going to get kind of back on that 30X program that I was doing. I did a whole YouTube series on Road to 30X.
Watched it.
And so, yeah, behind the scenes, and then you can find UltraView. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably know how to find UltraView. So,
too easy.
Yeah.
Kolby, my friend, thank you for taking the time out of your busy vacation schedule to come over.
We got it. I'd love to come out every time.
Good deal, man. Well, that's it, guys. That's another episode of the Archery Project. Drop some comments. Give us some feedback. Dealers, if you've got questions for Kolby, drop them in the comments. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys in the next episode of the Archery Project.